Get ready with me for the 7th game of the season while I answer y'all's questions. I got a lot of questions pertaining to the wedding, so I'm going to answer those first. I'm going to try to keep it in categories. So my first question that I got was, am I changing my last name? The answer is no. I'm hyphening my name. I'm keeping my last name and then adding his on. That's just how I wanted to do it ever since we decided to get married. So yeah, it'll be my name, Liana Lene, my last name, Hunter. So I'm just going to hyphen it. And I'm trying to...
It's your boy Ace Harul, author of How to Be a High-Value Man, The Blueprint to Success of Women. And in this book, I talk about things that your daddy should have told you. So just go ahead and, grab it off of Amazon, particularly Audible. All right. So enough about that. It's all about respect, okay? A woman must respect you for the utmost. You know what I'm saying? It's biblical. The Bible tells women to respect their husbands. It tells wives to respect their husbands. And it also tells husbands to love their wives, right? But more so it tells women to respect their husbands. Men need respect. That's what makes us feel like men. And if a woman respects you, and when a woman respects you, that's when she truly loves you. If she doesn't respect you, she don't love you. So what are some ways that women will show that they don't respect you? And again, if they don't respect you, they're not going to love you. And this is just off the cuff, Phil. I'm going to think of a couple of things. So let's say you marry a woman and she doesn't assume your last name. You dig? Like if she hyphenates the last name, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like she doesn't drop her last name. That's because she doesn't respect you. That's because she doesn't love you. That's because she doesn't value you and your bloodline and your lineage and what you stand for and your vision and your life plan for her. She doesn't see you as a leader. She doesn't even see you as the head of the family if you guys are going to have children. You understand? Like she's totally subversive at that point. That marriage is not going to last. If you got that last name hyphenated, she just doesn't love you. She's not going to respect you, and invariably she will cheat on you. She will, and it would be an ongoing affair. I mean, case in point, look at Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. You see that? Jada Pinkett Smith. She just going along for the ride. And look how she ran that man through the mud and continues to run that man through the mud. Like she in love with a dude who's been dead for over 30 years, Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Tupac been dead so long, Gen Z don't even know who Tupac is unless, a millennial or a Gen X person tells you who he was. You know what I'm saying? But that's just an example of what I'm talking about. If she don't take your last name, she don't respect you. She don't love you. And you married the enemy, bro. Another example is, let's say y'all don't have to be married or deep in, like, being married or about to be married, right? Let's just say you guys just met and you're on your first date. And you guys are walking somewhere down, at a park or even at the beach. You're just walking somewhere in the mall, whatever, right? If she walks in front of you, she doesn't respect you, right? Anytime a woman takes a lead, especially in public, if she takes the lead without deferring to you first, she doesn't respect you, right? She's in her masculine. And it's a huge indicator. Because what it says is that, you know, she's alpha and you're beta. It says that you're following her. It says that you're being submissive to her. Like, a woman should walk either beside you or behind you, not in front. Like, if she's in front of you and there's danger in the front, how are you going to protect her? You have to be in front of her to step in front, right? To shield her. Or step in front of her when she's to your side. And if she's behind you, she's already, you know, protected from the threat that's in front or approaching from the side. And if she's got your back, literally your back, you see what I'm saying? She's got your six. You see what I'm saying? So just see how a woman walks with you. That will show that she respects you. If she walks ahead of you and you trying to catch up with her and this and that, and it looks like you're with her and she's not with you, or you guys are just not together, that woman don't respect you, man. And you just there for the ride. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is people watch. Just go to, you know, a coffee shop, right? Go get a cup of coffee, sit out on the patio, and just people watch, right? As they walk by. You'll see couples walk by. And and speak of that, when you see people, like couples walk by, right? If you see, you know, Caucasians as they walk by, a lot of them they be holding hands. You watch Asians, a lot of them they be holding hands. You watch Hispanics, a lot of them be holding hands, right? You look at black people, they're not really holding hands like that. It's not, the love is not real. A lot of these dudes are in these transactional relationships, right? And they're just kind of like the pet on a leash. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's the master, right? And you're the dog that's on a leash that's just following behind her. You know what I'm saying? Or the ATM on wheels. That's just what it looks like. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's pathetic. These are just, you know, things that you can observe when you're with a woman. You know? Another area where a woman will show you if she respects you or not is if she values your opinion. She asks for your feedback, your opinion on things, on decisions, right? If she respects you, you will get the final decision. You will be the decision maker in your relationship. And you as a man have to make that clear. Like, hey, I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? Because in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? Someone is always the boss in a relationship, right? A work relationship, you got a boss, you got an employee, right? In the military, same thing. Like in any type of interaction, relationship, there's always some type of a hierarchy. Someone has the alpha role, the other person has the beta role. Very rare where you have two individuals on the same level. And if they do, they're more so associates and not friends. They're not in a deep relationship. They're not in a sustained relationship. It's probably just an interaction. But having said that, if you're in a relationship with a woman and you guys are trying to decide on anything, whether it be where to live, what kind of car to buy, how to split the bills, how to raise the children, if you have children, if you're going to develop a family, what you gonna watch, you know what I'm saying? What are you gonna eat? Where you gonna go? What your future looks like? What you gonna invest in? What foods to eat? You know, anything that comes down to a decision. When you're going for the holidays, whose parents' house you want to visit for the holidays? How many children you gonna have? So on and so forth. Like, you can get the input from your girl, from your wife, fine, no problem. Listen to her. If she has great points, then you take those points into consideration, right? Listen to her. She has a voice. She's not a robot. Value her opinion. Value her perspectives. Value her points, yes. But what I am saying is that the decision will be made by you based upon those things, right? And even if you guys don't agree on a decision, she has to agree with yours, even if you're wrong. You see what I'm saying? Because if she trusts your decision, if she submits to your decision, because it's all, listen, respect comes down to submission. Getting her last name dropped, she's submitting to your name. Walking with you and behind you, she's submitting to your leadership. In this example, she's submitting to you and trusting your decision making. Again, your leadership. You see what I'm saying? She's submitting to your archetype of vision and wisdom. Yes, you protect, you provide, but you should also have an archetype of vision. You're able to see like a crystal ball into the future, because you got, the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years planned out on how y'all gonna do things. You see what I'm saying? And she's submitting to that and trusting that. So when she values your final making decision, that is a huge sign of respect. Another sign of respect that a woman can extend to you, that you can just observe throughout your interaction while you're in a relationship with her, no matter if you guys are dating or you're married, is if she is quiet while you speak. If you're speaking and you guys are talking about something, you're discussing something, she's listening to your point. She's not butting in. She's not cutting you off. I mean, how many podcasts have you seen where the host is hosting and the host is making a point, and the female, that's on the panel or a guest, on the podcast is loud, boisterous, disrespectful, masculine as hell, using all type of expletives and cursing and foul language, just loud, disrespectful, and just, cutting off and can't shut up, and just loud and boisterous. That's a woman who don't respect you. And in that example, that's a podcast. She's a guest. She don't know that guy. But I'm saying, this is your woman. This is your girl. This is your fiance. This is your wife. And you're making a decision, or you guys are in a discussion, and she just butting into the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Just butting in, cutting you off type shit. That's a woman who don't respect you. That's a woman who don't want to submit to you. That's a woman that's in her masculine. That's a woman who is confrontational and combative. That's a woman who don't see you as that dude. That's a woman who don't see you as the man. She doesn't respect your divinity. She doesn't respect your authority. She doesn't respect your mind. She doesn't respect your leadership. It says a lot. And you know how I know? Because guess what? If she works a job, right? Will she do that to her supervisor? Will she do that to her boss? Will she do that to her manager? Will she do that to the CEO? You see what I'm saying? I think not. And these people are the ones who are doing her reviews and, that governs her advancement, whether she gets a raise or a promotion. The CEO signs the checks. Okay, cool, but guess what? She lives with you. Let's say you guys are in a serious relationship, right? And you guys are together. Okay, so now you're protecting her. You're providing, because at least you're paying some bills, right? You're covering that rent, that mortgage, right? Or most of it, at the least. You're protecting her at night when you guys are together. If something happens at the door, you hear noise in the middle of the night, guess who's getting up to go check it out? You are. When a woman is with you, you're responsible for her. You're responsible for her protection because spiritually, she's the weaker vessel, right? Isn't that what the word says? So in your archetype of protection, you put your life on the line for her, right? You're responsible for her. You're responsible for the whole household, the children, and everything, right? So you're laying your life on the line for her. You're building a future with her. In a lot of cases, you're building a family with her, right? And she can't respect you enough to shut the fuck up while you're talking. That's a huge sign of disrespect, right? She just don't see you like the boss, aka, right? She don't see you as the boss. Point blank. And if she don't, why are you with her? In any of these examples, why are you with her if she don't see you that way? And I'm gonna tell you why, man. You know, a lot of this stuff is deeply, deeply, deeply psychologically rooted in their psyche, passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation. I mean, you know, the whole civil rights thing since the 60s, man. You gotta think about that, man. It's only been, what, 60-something years, right? 60-something years ain't shit in terms of history, man. That's like yesterday. 60-something years with civil rights and this and that, and you know, they're trying to sweep chattel slavery under the rug, but it's still an indelible mark in humanity, right? Especially in this country. But you guys got to read this Willie Lynch letter. And this is what I'm alluding to, because whether it was real or not, whether it was fake or not, the implications of it, right, or the psychological exploits of it is real, because it did occur, right? When I say it, I mean the techniques that are enumerated and laid out in this letter. Just check it out, the Willie Lynch letter, right? And in it, especially when it comes to the psychology on the black woman, let me tell you what the instruction is. It was like this slave owner wrote this letter to other slave owners to break the black man, the black woman, and the black child, right? So I don't want to spend too much time on it, but with the black man, basically is buck breaking, right? So, you know, raping these dudes, sodomizing these dudes, quartering these dudes. What do I mean by quarter? Like, you know, taking each of their extremities, their arms and legs, tying them down to a horse and shooting a gun on the horse and ripping them apart, right? Tarring and feathering them, beating them to the point where, you know, they're almost dead, but, you know, to the point of nearly death or whatnot, you know, to break the men. Now, for the women, right, they did these atrocities, these horrible, horrible atrocities against the enslaved women's men in front of them, so they can witness the man being whipped, so they can witness their man being quartered, pulled apart, ripped apart by horses from each extremity. They witnessed a man being whipped within an inch of his life, you know. And they made it a spectacle to create this psychological trauma onto these enslaved black women, right? And so these slave owners, right, would rape the women at will and use these women as entertainment, right? Like a sexual fetish, you know. Almost like, yeah, not almost like literally a sexual fetish, like, you know, and did whatever they wanted to do with them, you know, peeing on them, shitting on them, making them screw the dog and the horse and their son and their brothers and their uncles and their guests when they came over. They did whatever the hell they wanted to do with these black women, right? These enslaved black women, psychologically to ruin their psyche. And so with that type of a trauma, right, what you get is Stockholm syndrome, which is a mechanism that's developed to cope with your oppressor, where you actually start to love and have affinity for your oppressor, right? These enslaved black women, right? And then with that, they would teach their children, black boys especially, and girls, to be submissive and subservient and fearful of who? Their slave owners, right? Zaddy, right? Today, Zaddy, right? So on a psychological level, on a deep psychological level, black women fear white men, and they also worship white men, right? If they subscribe to any, Caucasian, even in any Abrahamic type religion, whether it be Christianity, whether it be Islam, anything like that, they worship white men, Caucasian men, right? Or any man, rather than the black man. We're at the bottom of the totem pole in their psyche. So where am I going with all this? If you look at the Willie Lynch letter, like I just told you, right? And even entertain another book called How to Make a Negro Christian, and see how the psychological effects of that has been passed down from generations and generations of that type of oppression up until now. You'll see that the pangs of it, the effects of it, is still just alive as it is today than it was back then. In that Willie Lynch letter, he said, man, we'll have these women we'll have them psychologically, under our power, our spell for the next 300 years, probably more. So, with the power of religion and just sheer trauma and evil and other machinations that they use, like feminism, you see what I'm saying? These social economic constructs, welfare, which is still the plantation house, you know what I'm talking about? Because how does it work? You still have to take the black man out of the home. And as long as she is obedient to the government, aka Zaddy, he'll give her a little salary or a little paycheck. So a lot of this is stemming from that. They've literally turned our women against us. The system, the powers that be. That's really the root cause of all this shit. But if you can find a woman that's not sick in the fucking head, and she's not acculturated, and she's not acclimated to this sick, evil hypnosis of feminism, misandry, hoism, 304 culture, then that, my friend, is a good woman. And that's where you'll find true respect. And for the most part, you're not going to find it here in the U.S. You're just not, for the most part. You're not, for the most part. Not going to say it's impossible, but it's good luck with that, right? And again, that's why a lot of guys are checking out. That's why a lot of guys are going overseas and, things like that. But, I'm just giving you like root causes. I'm giving you solutions, and I'm telling you, if she don't respect you, she's not going to love you. And so how do you get respect? Well, you get respect by not beating it into her, yelling at her, and all that, asserting yourself and dominance. No, you just don't deal with her. You just walk away. You can walk away from her beauty. You can walk away from her sex. You can walk away from her femininity. You can walk away from that. If you can walk away from her spell, that's powerful. And if you make it known, if you make it clear that the only way you can interact with me is through submission, by walking away and not dealing with her, that's how you get it. I'm out.
Travis Hunter,
Like
walk
my shit,
away,
share my shit,
fam.
subscribe to my
Walk
shit,
away.
comment on my shit. I'll see you next video. Yep.